All right. So this is the 10 minutes speaking. So let's get started. So what advice do you have for college graduates? Certainly, I do want you to apply for a job at Solidity or Tesla or SpaceX. And if not, then if that doesn't work for whatever reason, then apply to jobs at other companies in that arena or try studying a company. Third, you study engineering and you figure out how to design new things. Then it's relatively easy to start a company. You just need to get a few like-minded people with you. Or if this business is quite hard to start a company is by business because it's a capital intensive business. So it may be better to do something in solar power, or if you're gonna do it in cars, there's like a kind of a component supplier for cars or something like that. Something like that. Mother has quite a degree in business and physics, but SpaceX is its first venture in aerospace. How do you get to the ABC to be the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company? Well, I don't have physics background. That's helpful as a foundation. And then I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people. I just want to change. Every time we say, you could think in terms of the physics at broad first principles, which is rather than reasoning by an analogy. When you boil things down to the most fundamental truth you can imagine, you reason from there. It's a good way to figure out if something really makes sense or is it just what everybody else is doing. It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It's a lot of effort. But you try to do something new. It's a bad way to think. I mean, that framework has developed by physicists to figure out to account kind of new things like quantum mechanics. So it's really a powerful method. I just want to know what is your one thing that has surprised you about your life? Well, someday I tried about the whole thing honestly. What's really the best way to be for any of these things to happen? Honestly, um, yeah, I know I wanted to be involved in technology. Um, and in fact, the only reason I started comedy back in '95 was in the comedy course because I could get in. Really, a few it's people somebody could get a job at any of them. Um, I took a job at Netscape and I sent my resume. I said hanging out in the lobby, but it was too shy to talk to anyone. And it was like, okay, well, I guess I have to start a company because I can job anywhere. Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I fear. I feel queer quite strongly. But I if the what we're doing isn't important enough, then I just override the fear. So it's not at all I don't fear. I feel fear like more stronger than I would like. And people still tend to override risk on personal level. It's something you got to know a mortgage to pay and kids to support, and if you were to deviate from your job, and then well, how you going to feed your family and pay the rent? Okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college or coming out of high school or whatever. What do you risk? You're not gonna starve. I mean, it's really usually not in any kind of modern economy. It's just so easy to earn enough money just to live in somewhere and eat food. I don't know what other people what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. A fellow, I think. We should be less risk averse than risk more not much as risk. Which is occasionally basically downloading data and algorithm into your brain. Then it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education. It's actually been like this huge chart that the more you can amplify the process of learning, the better. As long as I sort of like a slide, so no, because I was trying to figure out what does it all mean, what's the purpose of things, and I came to the conclusion that if we can't advance the knowledge of the world, if we do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, and then we're able to ask the correct questions and become more enlightened, and that's really, really the only way forward. What drives you? What is it when you wake up in the morning and you see a problem and you want to solve it? Um, Things that have drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So that we do we can to have a future be as good as possible. Um, to be inspired by what is likely to happen. Um, and to look forward to the next day, to the next day. So that what really drives me is trying to figure out how do we make sure that things are great. And I'm gonna be sure then that's the underlying principle behind Tesla and SpaceX is that I think it's pretty important that we accelerate the transitions to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. It was inevitable, but it matters if it happens sooner or later. Manasabasa is about helping make life multi-planetary, um, and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo, and ultimately make contribution to life becoming multi-planetary. Let's talk about more about that. I think everyone is very interested that when you say making life multi-planetary, yeah, that's exciting. It is exciting. So what's the vision there? I think particularly for Americans, like if you think about it, America is a nation of explorers who came here from other parts of the world and choose to give up the norm in favor of the norm. Um, so I think aspiration like the United States is a revelation of the human spirit of aspiration. And then that's why it appeals to mention so much. You know, you can see this when Solis was shuttle charity, some people died. But that's terrible, but a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because that was a dream of aspiration that was dying along with those people. That's why. When most of Barca class Basak would fail at the beginning. You thought, yeah, sure. Really? Of course. Nevertheless, they do put all your money in them. It's better to lose it. And well, actually, what I thought was, well, after I have money from PayPal, I never lose half of it. That's that's okay. But then, of course, the companies encounter difficulties, and then I have a choice of either like let the company die or put all the money into the companies. And so I really don't want the company die, so I put all the money into the companies. Yeah, and I have to borrow money from friends to pay living expenses. Yes, they're just looking for evidence of exceptional ability. And if they track record of exceptional achievement, it's likely that will continue into the future. Was it really depends on the stakes. If it's like a high, if it's really important, then one should here and overcome the fear and just do it anyway. Um, Honestly, I mean, I just override fear, but I feel fear is 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 kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I felt it. It's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I felt it less. Okay, so this is the end of this 10 minute speaking for today. So okay, bye guys.